By the way, the principal who spent my whole first year lying on my evaluations, and who then ordered her secretary to tear open my moving boxes after I had already left her school, she is the one who is not a principal anymore. Not me. Her, I still have my job. A better one now. And she got a very expensive lesson in why you should never ever put your pettiness in writing. My name is Caleb 31M, and I teach 4th grade, and last year was the worst year of my 7-year career, and it was the worst because of one woman. Let me back up. Last year was my first year in a new district. My family had actually moved across the state for this job, partly because this district pays about $10,000 more than any of the ones around it, so there was a lot riding on it. And from almost the first week of September, my principal, a woman named Marlene 55F, decided she did not like me. I still do not fully know why. Maybe she just needed somebody to be the problem that year, and I drew the short straw. But whatever it was, she had it out for me, and she spent the year proving it. She lied on my evaluations. I do not mean she was harsh. I mean she wrote down things that did not happen. And when I provided evidence, lesson plans, dates, emails, proof that what she wrote was false, she ignored it. She did not follow a single one of the district's own evaluation guidelines, the ones that exist precisely so a principal cannot just decide to bury a teacher she does not like. I went to my union, and my union, I am sorry to say, was useless. By the end, the rep basically told me I had 2 choices. I could prioritize, and this is close to a direct quote, sticking it to my principal, or I could prioritize finding a new job somewhere else in the district. I could not do both. So I made the grown-up choice. The boring choice. I found another job within the same district, at a different school, because my family had moved here for this paycheck, and I was not going to blow up my whole life to win a fight with one bitter woman. I told myself, just get out, just survive the year, get to the new school, and you never have to think about Marlene again. I almost made it. Here is the part that still makes me laugh, in a tired sort of way. When you transfer within a district, you just pack your classroom and your stuff gets moved for you. And I was careful, because I've been doing this 7 years and I know the rules. Anything the school or the TA paid for, I left. I left several full file cabinets and the cubbies basically packed. I took only my own things, the stuff I bought with my own money over the years, the noise-canceling headphones, the flexible seating, my own board games, the personal things. There was one beautiful exception, and I want you to remember her. The teacher I had replaced was a woman named Edith 68F, who had taught there over 30 years before she retired, and who was, by every account, a saint. When I took her room, Edith sat down with me and walked me through the things she was leaving me, on purpose, as gifts, teacher to teacher. The nicest was a little wooden mailbox her late husband had built by hand that she used for a classroom job system, and she wanted it to keep being used. I even had an email from her from that summer saying she was leaving me the mailbox her husband made. Put a pin in that email. So I packed up, I checked out, and at no point, not once, not even at the checkout meeting, did Marlene say a single word about my boxes. She watched me leave and said nothing. And then the next day, Thursday, I got the email. Marlene sent me an email accusing me of stealing. She listed items, my headphones that I bought, my flexible seating that I bought, my board games. She accused me of taking a poster I did not even have. And then, the real point of the whole thing, she said I was required to leave anything left behind by former teachers, specifically the items left by the retired teacher I had taken over for, meaning Edith. Meaning the mailbox her husband built, the one Edith gave me. The one I had an email about. She was calling Edith's gift theft. I did the responsible thing, because at that point, I just wanted to be done. That Friday, I drove back and pulled 2 items from my pile that, fine, technically should have stayed. One a coworker had given me, and one a board game a church had donated, and I handed them over. A couple of Edith's things had already been quietly removed from my pile, and I did not even fight for those. And while I was there, the school secretary, a woman named Donna 58F, who had been there for decades and seen every principal come and go, told me something quietly. She said, "Caleb, you are the only person being put through this. Nobody else who transferred got an email like that. This is just for you." And we looked at each other, 2 people who understood exactly what that meant, and we agreed that if I found anything else when I unpacked, I would just send it back. Done. Chapter closed. except Marlene could not let it be closed. The following Monday, I found out, through Donna, that after I had already come back and returned the items, Marlene had ordered Donna to open and go through every single one of my moving boxes. My personal, packed, checked out boxes. She had them searched. And I was told some boxes would turn up missing when I got to my new school, though no one would say which ones, and I never got any official communication about it. If Donna had not told me, I would have shown up one day with boxes gone and no explanation. Now, the old me, the survive the year me, was ready to drop it. I did not have receipts for most of my stuff, and I figured fighting a woman like Marlene was a fight with no bottom. But here is what Marlene did not understand. When she ordered those boxes opened, she stopped being a principal having a personnel disagreement and started being a person who directed a search of an employee's already released personal property, on no authority, out of pure spite, in front of a witness she did not realize had finally had enough. Because Donna had had enough. 30 years of watching principals come and go, a long quiet list of good teachers Marlene had driven out before me, and the box search was what broke it. Donna documented the order. In writing, the date, the instruction, all of it. And when the district, prompted by the complaint I finally filed, came asking questions, Donna told the truth. And here is where the email comes back. The pin I asked you to remember. When Marlene's accusation that I had stolen Edith's mailbox made its way up the chain, somebody contacted Edith. And Edith, the saint beloved by everyone, was, to put it gently, furious. She confirmed in writing that she had given me those items as gifts. And I still had her summer email about the mailbox her husband built. So now the district had a principal who had accused a teacher of stealing a dead man's handmade mailbox against a paper trail proving it was a gift, who had falsified his evaluations all year, and who had then ordered an unauthorized search of his personal property out of spite, all of it documented by her own secretary. You see, for a year the lies on the evaluations had been just vague enough, just deniable enough. But the box search was not careful. It was pure ego, and ego is sloppy, and it left a trail with her name on every step. I did not have to do much after that. I just had to stop being too tired to fight, file the complaint, attach Edith's email, and let the things Marlene herself had set in motion finish the job. The district investigated. And by the end of that school year, Marlene was no longer the principal of that school. Officially, it was a reassignment to a district office role with no building and no teachers under her. Which is what they do when they want someone out of the way, but cannot quite say why out loud. The woman who tried to take my dignity over a box of headphones got herself demoted out of the principal's chair. Whatever she thought she was going to find in my boxes, she found nothing. Because there was nothing to find. Meanwhile, I started at my new school, and my new principal, a man named Ferris 45M, shook my hand on day one and said, "I heard you had a rough year. That is over now. My door is open." That was all it took to be a decent boss. One sentence. It made me realize how abnormal the whole previous year had been. A good boss is not a miracle. Marlene was just a bad one. Edith sent me a card after it was over, proud that the mailbox was still being used, and sorry her old school had put me through any of it. That mailbox sits on my desk at my new school right now, doing the exact job her husband built it to do, and every time a kid drops a note in it, I think about how a petty woman tried to turn a kind man's gift into a crime, and failed. So here is what I learned, and it is a little different from the advice I almost gave, which was sneak your stuff out on a weekend and keep your receipts. That is not wrong. Keep your receipts. But here is the bigger thing. People who abuse a little bit of power almost always destroy themselves with it. Because they cannot help going one step too far. Marlene could have just let me leave. I was already gone. But she could not stand to let me go without one more jab, and that one unnecessary box search was the thing that finally ended her, when a whole year of careful lying never had. I did not beat Marlene. Marlene beat Marlene. I just stopped being too worn down to hold up the mirror. I have my job. I have a good boss. I have a handmade mailbox on my desk and a dead man's kindness still doing its work in my classroom. And I never have to think about that woman again, which in the end was the only thing I ever actually wanted. Update. A couple of months later. Donna retired at the end of the year, and at her send-off she told me, with the biggest grin, that staying long enough to tell the truth about those boxes was the best last thing she ever did at that school. 2 other teachers Marlene had pushed out over the years reached out just to say thank you, that it felt good to see it finally land. I thought I was the only one she had done it to. I was just the one whose boxes she could not resist opening. Funny how the smallest, pettiest thing a person does is so often the thing that tells everyone exactly who they are.